Hey Vault Dwellers, JV here, and today I'm sharing the best early game perks in Fallout 76. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for more Fallout 76 videos just like this. After more than 20 hours of experience with Fallout 76 across multiple betas, across several characters, I thought I'd share what I believe to be the best perks taken early on. Fallout 76 throws perk cards at you really quickly. By level 10, you will have unlocked 47 perks to choose from every single time that you level up. And if the perk card packs are working properly, you'll have an extra 16 in your deck. That's seriously overwhelming. So here are what I believe to be the best perks to take in the first 10 levels. It should go without saying, these choices are completely subjective. What I consider best is what is most useful for the average player and average playstyle. If you're going for a super specific build where you only hunt rad toads in the Savage Divide, then Butcher's Bounty might be the best for you. That doesn't mean it's best for most players. I'm also not suggesting that you take the following 10 perks and ignore the rest. You'd really be missing out as a melee character, for example, if you didn't take Gladiator. That's obvious. So these are 10 perks to complement any playstyle. Use these recommendations to fill out the bottom parts of your special. Without further ado, here are the best early game perks in their unlock order. First is Concentrated Fire. It's a perception perk unlocked at level 2. VATS now targets limbs. Focus Fire to gain high accuracy and damage per shot. Now, if you're part of that fringe crowd that swears VATS is useless in a Fallout game, good for you. You may not take this one, but for everyone else, you should take Concentrated Fire. It's very useful when you're targeting the same component of your enemy. For example, the head. If you start with 40% and you shoot 3 shots, that'll go up to 50 and then 60%, and it will increase your damage per shot. So it's very useful when you're focusing fire on a single target, especially if you're in a group and you're taking down a very particularly hard enemy. This will do wonders. It'll make you more efficient and your team will take down that target more quickly. So Concentrated Fire, I couldn't recommend it enough. I think everyone should take this perk. Next is Inspirational or Lone Wanderer, and I made this a choice because I think it's important to distinguish whether you're playing with a group more often or by yourself more often. I would take one or the other, and if you genuinely split your time 50-50, then maybe take both. But Inspirational is a charisma card unlocked at level 2. When you're on a team, gain 5% more experience. Anytime you can maximize your experience in this game, it's a no-brainer. I think you have to take advantage of that opportunity. We know that intelligence no longer dictates your experience gains, and so you're going to get these from being well rested, from having particular kinds of food and the effects of those active, or perk cards like Inspirational. I think you should always have this active if you're playing with a team. On the other hand, if you're more of a solo player and you don't intend to play with others, I would take Lone Wanderer. Unlocked at level 4, it's a charisma card. When adventuring alone, you take 10% less damage and gain 10% AP regen. This is super useful. I mean, less damage, more AP regen, you're going to be more effective and efficient in combat. It just makes sense. Now, Lone Wanderer is a 2-cost card, so you will have to put 1 extra point into Charisma in order to have it active. So, for example, at level 4, if you want to plan to be a solo player, I would go ahead and stick that level 4 special point into Charisma and then unlock Lone Wanderer. Next is Action Boy or Action Girl. It's an agility card unlocked at level 2. Your action points regenerate 15% faster. Not only is this excellent in combat, this is going to help you get around the map more quickly. While your endurance dictates your AP drain from sprinting, and that's a huge factor in this game, by the way. If you've played any amount of the beta, you know that you're sprinting around this giant map. You're constantly running out of AP. This is going to help you regenerate that faster. So what does that mean? You're going to be sprinting around more often, and I think that's going to help your efficiency both in combat and in just traveling around. I believe Action Boy and Action Girl is a must-take on any character. Next is Traveling Pharmacy, a strength card unlocked at level 3. The weight of all chems, including stim packs, are reduced by 30%. In my 20-something hours of playtime, I've got to tell you, the thing I was shocked the most by was how much time I was spending managing my inventory and my weight. I'm telling you guys, stim packs weigh a lot. You will be shocked. If you go to your aid category, you're wondering, where's all this weight? How am I offloading it? What's wrong here? It's going to be your stim packs. Whether you're a melee character or not, everyone's going to be putting points into strength for 2 reasons. First off, your carry weight. Second off, some of these weight-saving perks, and Traveling Pharmacy is going to be super useful to you. Next is Dromedary. It's an endurance card unlocked at level 3. All drinks quench thirst by an additional 25%. Initially, I thought this was a throwaway card. Why would you need this? You know, resources are going to be plentiful, so on and so forth. Actually, this is super useful for several reasons. First off, water isn't that plentiful. I think there are some effective ways like farming events, workshops, creating a water purifier in your camp, for example, is a good way of generating constant water source. But by and large, you're gonna need water. And so making every single time you drink water, which is gonna be a lot, 25% more effective is super useful. The other reason is the bonus you get from being hydrated. If you are well hydrated, which is your thirst meter is above 75%, you instantly gain plus 25 AP regen and a 25% disease resistance. Now, diseases aren't a huge deal in this game. I don't think they're, that debilitating. You can easily make a disease cure, so on and so forth, but that AP regen is super useful again for combat and just for getting around the map. It's gonna make you more efficient. And so I would urge you guys to take this card first off, and second off, always make sure that your thirst meter is above 75% so you're getting that well-hydrated bonus. Next is Hacker. It's an intelligence perk unlocked at level 4, gain +1 hacking skill, and terminal lockout time is reduced. I almost always take this perk because I like how it gives me shortcuts in certain quests, but also gives me a nice little chunk of XP. Every single time I solve one of these hacking puzzles, I get a little bit of experience, and that's really nice. And sometimes hacking can get you into valuable rooms where you can find loot that upgrades what you already have. But big thing to note with Hacker, I would file this under the situational perk card category. This is not something I'm going to run at all times. The only time I'm actively benefiting from this is when I am hacking. And so outside of that particular situation, which is very specific, I'm not going to use this. But again, I believe the benefit you get from time saving, from, awesome loot and the experience is worth it. Same goes for our next perk, which is Pick Lock. It's a perception perk unlocked at level 5. You gain +1 lockpicking skill, and the lockpicking sweet spot is 10% larger. Again, very situational. I wouldn't even put this on unless I am picking a lock. I would literally go and swap out another perception perk card to put this in and then swap the other one back in. But again, I love the value that you get from locked doors. There's lots of awesome things behind locks in Fallout games. Something to keep in mind though with Hacker and Pick Lock, if you're playing with like a team through the entire course of your playthrough, then maybe you don't want to take one of these and let your teammate take it. Or maybe they could just share it with you, because it seems, and I've confirmed this with my Discord server, that when you unlock a door or you unlock a terminal, it's unlocked for everyone in that server for a certain amount of time. We don't know what the reset timer is yet. I haven't tested that, but I do know for sure that if, for example, your teammate unlocks a door, that door is unlocked for you. Now, what I can't confirm, you guys in the comments might know, is if the experience is shared. If my teammate unlocks a door, do I get the experience for him unlocking that door? I'm not sure on that. That maybe makes sense, but at the same time, I could see it going the other way. Regardless, I like being able to get into stuff, so I would take lockpick pretty much no matter what. Next is Slow Metabolizer, an endurance perk unlocked at level 5. All food satisfies hunger by an additional 25%. The same logic applies here as it did for dromedary. If your health meter is above 75% and you are well fed, you automatically gain 25 health. To put that into perspective, that is the same value as you would get from 5 points of strength on your health. That is so huge. You always want to make sure that you are well fed, and especially in a game where food spoils. Every single time you're eating food, which is going to be a lot, it's going to be 25% more effective. That's huge. Next is Pakrat. It's a strength perk card unlocked at level 7. The weight of all junk items is reduced by 25%. In a game where looting is at the core of what you're doing, in a game where your weapons break down and you will constantly need parts to keep them updated, this is very helpful. Like I mentioned, I was shocked at the amount of time I was having to deal with my inventory. It's way more than Fallout 4, and taking Pakrat is going to ease that for you. It's going to make you more efficient overall. You're going to be leveling more quickly because you're not worrying so much about your junk, and so Pakrat, I think, is a must-have. Last but not least, Through Hiker. It's an agility perk unlocked at level 7. Food and drink weights are reduced by 30%. Same logic here. I do not want to be wasting time on my weight and my management. Food and drink weigh a ton in this game. You'd be shocked. Your aid category is what's going to be weighing you down the most. With thirst and hunger being a constant consideration, you're always going to be carrying drinks, you're always going to be carrying food. Through Hiker is going to ease that burden, and even if you're not playing an agility-based character, which I feel like a lot of people should have a decent amount of agility no matter what, this is going to be helpful. That's it for my 10, or technically 11, perk recommendations, but I want to share a few more helpful tips when you're choosing perk cards, additional things to keep in mind. One of the things that I regret doing in the first 10 levels of both of my characters on Xbox One and PC is taking duplicate cards in order to rank up the perks that I like. In your first 4 perk card packs, you will absolutely get duplicate cards. That's just how the game works. But instead of purposefully taking a duplicate on a level up in order to rank up a card, I would wait until level 10, until you've received your level 4, level 6, level 8, and level 10 perk card packs. If you happen to get a duplicate card for a perk that you like, that's great. And if you're really dead set on that card, you could even take a third on the same level up to push it to rank 3. But waiting until level 10 in order to start doing that is a safer way to think about things, so you don't have any dead cards at the bottom of your deck. You could, in theory, get 3 concentrated fire perk cards without even choosing them in your first 4 card packs. That could happen. And so waiting until you get your quote free perk cards from these first 4 packs is a better way to go about things. Next, I wouldn't worry so much about your special points before level 10. I firmly believe that every single build or playstyle in this game will benefit from a few perk cards in each special category. By level 10, I'd put 2 points in each category and then save the remaining 2 for whichever specials suit your playstyle best. So if I'm going for a very VATS heavy build or a gun build, I'd have 2 strength, 3 perception maybe, 2 endurance, 2 charisma, 2 intelligence, 3 agility, and 2 luck. Final thing I want to point out, I think there are some excellent luck cards, but I didn't suggest a single one in the first 10 levels. Pharma, Scrounger, and Can Do give you a chance to find extra items if you, quote, search containers. But the community quickly found out that this is not an automatic search. The game requires you to click an extra button to research these containers. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm lost in a game and I'm immersed and I'm trying to enjoy myself, I do not remember little things like that. I don't want to have to click an extra button in order to research a container. But if you think you can do that, if that's a playstyle you think you can adopt, then I definitely consider either Pharma or Scrounger, because you'll run into plenty of first aid and ammo containers. Can Do, on the other hand, I don't think is worth your time. In the comment section, tell me which perks you think are best in the first 10 levels. Share your thoughts below. If you enjoyed the video, remember to subscribe and hit the bell for more Fallout 76 content like my last video where I share the update 0.9 patch notes. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.